Hey guys! Are you looking for some beautiful DIY gift ideas for a friend or family member who loves plants? Because in this video, I will show you 3 easy DIY handmade ideas that are not only great gifts but also wonderful home decor pieces. Make sure notifications are turned on by clicking on the bell and by adjusting the settings. And for a chance to get a shoutout and to win arts and crafts supplies in my ongoing giveaway, comment down below #makoccino in the first 24 hours. Instead of just gifting another plant for the collection, why not adding a DIY hanging planter that the person can use to decorate his or her space with? This DIY looks more difficult than it actually is. For this macrame hanging planter, you will need cotton macrame cord or other thick cord you have. Mine was 3mm thick that I got from Amazon. A wooden ring or something else you would like to use for hanging up the plant. And as an option, you can use colorful thread if you want to add some color to your design. The first thing you want to do is to cut off 8 equally long pieces of thread. Think about how long you want the plant hanger to be from top to bottom and then double the length. I cut off 8 pieces that were about 2.5 meters long. Next, pull the threads through the loop, making sure that the cords are equally long when you pull them through. Now you should have 16 equally long pieces of cord below the ring. To secure the threads, you can either make a simple knot by making a loop or a nice wrap knot to make everything look more fancy. For this step, cut off another piece of cord or use a colorful thick thread and place it on top of the cords with the short tail on one and the long tail on the other side while creating a loop in between them. Now all you need to do is take the long tail and wrap it all around the cords that you just pulled through the ring and the short tail, and then repeat the steps. Make sure that the loop that is hanging down doesn't disappear because we still need it later. Do this until you are happy with the size of the knot, and then pull the leftover piece of thread through the small loop that is hanging down. Now pull the upper piece of thread up and the lower piece of thread down, creating a knot inside the wrapped cords we just created. Cut off the excess thread and that's it. Since I only had colorful thread that was too thin, I simply wrapped it around the same way to cover up the white cord. Now let's start creating the beautiful macrame designs. I will show you the very basic design that you can change up however you like. Begin by dividing the 16 long strands into 4 groups with 4 threads each. To make the design evenly, I measured out the length I wanted the hanger to be above the plant and added a few guiding points to the strands so I make sure that the distance is the same everywhere. Secure the thread to your desk by using some tape so nothing moves around in the process. Now for the basic knot, you want to divide the 4 strands into 2 inner cords and 2 outer cords. And then begin by placing the left cord over the 2 cords in the middle, making it look like an L shape. And then place the outer right cord on top of the L-shaped thread like so. Now what you want to do is take the outer cord that you just placed on top, pull it through the 2 strands in the center upwards, and then up over the cords on the left side. And then pull the threads to tighten everything, making sure you make the knot at the guideline you created. Next, repeat the same steps, but this time going the opposite direction. Place the outer right cord over the 2 strands in the middle, creating a mirrored L like so. And then lay the outer left cord on top of the L shape and thread the same cord through the 2 strands in the middle up over the cord on the right side. Pull everything tight again and you get your first square knot. And now you can create as many knots as you like. For my design, I made 3 square knots. Now all you need to do is to repeat the steps on the other 3 groups of strands. It might sound super complicated, but if you do this slowly and a few times, you will totally get the hang of it and you will get super fast with this technique. Next, you want to create another row of knots slightly below our first row to make everything more secure. Again, measure out how far below you want the knots to be and create a few guiding points. This time we need to create new groups of 4 strands. For this step, combine the outer 2 cords together like so. And now repeat the same steps as in the beginning. Tie as many knots as you want for your design. Now to create knots on the leftover strands on the left and the right side, you want to connect them by creating a funnel like that. Repeat the same steps and then we just need to secure all strands together. For this step, measure out how far below you want the knot to be and then make a knot with all the cords and tighten it to secure everything. Now you just need to trim the cords to the length of your choice, insert the planter, hang it up, and you have a handmade hanging planter. This was super fun and easy to make, and you save a ton of money if you do it yourself. And if you want to make the planter a little bit more fun and interesting, why not adding a cute message on top? For this DIY, I will be using terracotta pots and a white pen that is made for this type of material. Let's begin by preparing a template so we know exactly how much space we have and where to write the words. Cut off a piece of paper that is as wide and as long as the area where you want to write on the text. From here you can sketch out the words with a pencil and then use a marker to finalize your design. I made it into a more hand lettering style, but you can choose any design you like, of course. To transfer the text onto the planter, turn the paper over, use a very soft pencil and then scribble all around the text area. This way we create a graphite layer that will serve as a transfer film. Next, place the paper onto the planter and start tracing one letter at a time. You can either outline every letter the way you designed it, or just a simple version of the font and then adjust everything later. And now all you have to do is to trace the guidelines with a white pen, but you can also use white acrylic paint, of course, and a thin brush. Since these flower pots were pretty small, it was a bit tricky to create thin lines, but I think it still turned out pretty cute. I created 2 layers of paint to make the white look a little bit more bright and then let everything dry. Now to make the flower pots look even cuter, or if you want to create something else instead, let's DIY funny nose that you can simply poke inside the planters. The main supplies you will need are polymer clay in the color of your choice, a cookie cutter in the shape of your choice, rolling pin, popsicle sticks, and toothpicks. Begin by evenly rolling out the clay in between 2 popsicle sticks that are stacked on each other. This way we will make sure that we evenly roll out the clay. Cut out the shape of your choice using a cookie cutter. Now to be able to poke them into the flower pots, we will have to carefully insert the toothpicks. Add them very carefully to the center of the clay, making sure that the toothpicks don't accidentally get out somewhere. Press down and adjust the clay so you don't lose the shape. To remove any dust and to even out any areas, you can use a little bit of rubbing alcohol and a Q-tip, but this is optional. Now it's time to bake them. Make sure to read the instructions of your oven baked clay first so you use the right temperature and time. In the meantime, you can design the text. For this step, trace the shape onto some piece of paper using the same cookie cutter you'd use for the clay. And from here, sketch out the text. These are the designs I had in the end. Cut out your templates, and once the polymer clay has hardened and cooled down, repeat the same steps as with the terracotta pots. Add pencil lid to the backside of the paper, trace the text onto the polymer clay, and then trace the guidelines using a permanent marker. At first, I used a black pen for the text, but then I decided that I like the way the design looks when I use a white pen instead. I also used a little bit of white acrylic paint, but of course you can use any color of your choice. If necessary, add glue to the toothpicks to secure everything a little bit more, and then you can add these cute notes inside the planters. You can gift these DIYs separately, or you can also combine them and gift them as a 3-in-1 present. What idea was your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. A huge shout out to Eternal Rage. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up to support this channel. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and to click on the bell to get notified when I upload a new video every week. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon. Bye!